Today, we dive into a dramatic and rapidly evolving situation in Belarus with the headline regime in freefall, Belarus police switch sides amid nationwide unrest. Reports are emerging of widespread protests sweeping across the country, from the capital Minsk to regional cities like Grodno, Brest, and Gomel. Citizens are taking to the streets in massive numbers, demanding political change and an end to long-standing authoritarian rule. What makes this unrest particularly significant is the alleged defections within the security forces, with some police units reportedly refusing orders or even joining the protesters. This could signal a critical turning point, as the loyalty of law enforcement has historically been the backbone of regime stability in Belarus. The exterior of the situation looks chaotic yet determined. Vast crowds fill the central squares of Minsk, waving the white opposition flag that has become a symbol of resistance since the 2020 protests. Snow-covered streets are lined with thousands of people marching peacefully but firmly, holding placards calling for freedom and new elections. In regional landscapes, from the dense forests around Vitebsk to the industrial areas of Mogilov, similar scenes unfold under the harsh Eastern European winter sky. Belarusian police in their distinctive uniforms are seen in some footage standing aside or removing helmets in solidarity, while riot gear lies abandoned on the ground. Iconic buildings like the government house in Minsk and the Great Patriotic War Museum are surrounded by demonstrators, with the red-green national flag still flying but challenged by the historic white banners. Protesters gather near key landmarks such as the Independence Palace, the residence of the longtime leader Alexander Lukashenko, creating a tense standoff that highlights the regime's vulnerability from the outside. Now, let's go deeper into the interior of this crisis, examining the core dynamics driving this unrest. The interior situation in Belarus is one of profound dissatisfaction built up over decades, exploding now amid economic hardships, political repression, and a desire for genuine democracy. Inside homes across the country, families discuss the protests in hushed tones, sharing videos on encrypted apps to avoid surveillance. The regime's control over media means state television portrays the events as foreign-orchestrated chaos, but independent sources and citizen journalism reveal a different reality. Ordinary Belarusians from all walks of life, workers, students, teachers, and even former officials, are uniting against what they see as an outdated and oppressive system. Defections among police are particularly telling. Reports describe officers who, tired of enforcing harsh measures against their own people, are switching sides, providing protection to protesters or leaking information about planned crackdowns. This internal fracture within the security apparatus is unprecedented in recent years and suggests that the regime's grip is loosening from within. Opposition figures, many in exile, are coordinating via online platforms, calling for nonviolent resistance and international support. The interior mood is a mix of hope and fear. Hope that this could finally bring change after repeated failed attempts, and fear of brutal retaliation as seen in past crackdowns. Economic factors play a huge role too. Inflation, sanctions, related hardships, and dependence on neighboring powers have eroded living standards, pushing more people to risk everything for a better future. Inside prisons and detention centers, political prisoners inspire the movement, with their stories of endurance fueling public anger. The white flag, banned by the regime but proudly displayed indoors and out, symbolizes a return to national identity free from current control. This interior unrest is not just superficial. It's rooted in years of suppressed voices finally breaking through, with police defections acting as a catalyst that could unravel the entire structure. Neighborhood committees are forming spontaneously, organizing supplies and medical aid, showing a grassroots interior organization that the regime struggles to contain. In factories and universities, strikes and walkouts are spreading, paralyzing key sectors and demonstrating that the discontent penetrates every layer of society. The leader's palace, once a symbol of unchallengeable power, now feels isolated as reports suggest internal debates among elites about the sustainability of the status quo. This big interior shift, police turning against orders, citizens reclaiming public spaces, and a collective rejection of fear, marks a potential regime freefall where the once monolithic control is cracking under popular pressure. Performance-wise, the regime's response has been mixed and increasingly ineffective. Initial attempts to deploy riot police and special forces met with resistance not just from protesters, but from within their own ranks, leading to confusion and delayed actions. The performance of security forces, traditionally efficient in suppressing dissent, is faltering as defections spread, reducing their ability to maintain order through force alone. On the protesters' side, the performance is remarkably disciplined. Drawing lessons from 2020, they used decentralized tactics, avoiding direct confrontations and focusing on sustained presence in multiple locations. Internet, blackouts and media blackouts are being circumvented with VPN and satellite connections, allowing real-time coordination that outperforms the regime's outdated censorship tools. The leader's public appearances show a performance of defiance, with speeches blaming external forces, but they lack the conviction of past years, as economic performance indicator, stagnant growth, currency devaluation, undermine claims of stability. Overall, the protesters' performance in mobilizing nationwide without central leadership highlights superior adaptability and morale. Safety features in this context refer to the risks involved for participants and the measures taken to protect them. Protesters have developed community-based safety protocols, including mutual aid networks for legal support, medical help, and evacuation routes, wearing neutral clothing, using masks not just for anonymity but health, and avoiding alcohol to maintain discipline are common safety practices. However, the regime's past use of excessive force, rubber bullets, tear gas, and arbitrary arrests poses severe dangers, though current police hesitancy provides a temporary safety buffer. International monitoring and rapid documentation of abuses serve as a deterrent safety feature, broadcasting events globally to pressure for restraint. Unique selling points of this unrest include the police defections, which differentiate it from previous waves by eroding the regime's core enforcement mechanism. The nationwide scope, involving rural areas beyond Minsk, is another USP, broadening the base beyond urban intellectuals. The symbolic use of the red-white flag ties the movement to historical Belarusian identity, appealing to national pride. Finally, the timing amid regional geopolitical shifts adds a USP of potential international leverage. Price here metaphorically means the cost of this uprising, the human toll in arrests, injuries, and potential lives lost alongside economic disruption from strikes. The regime pays a high price in legitimacy and cohesion, while protesters pay in personal risk, but many see it as the price for freedom. In conclusion, the situation in Belarus with police switching sides amid nationwide unrest truly suggests a regime in freefall. If defections continue and protests sustain momentum, this could mark the beginning of profound change. The world is watching closely, and the outcome will resonate across the region. Stay tuned for updates, and remember to subscribe and like for more global conflict news. Thank you for watching.